YouTube, what's the word? We back with another video. It's your boy Rongloo. We back, man. Today video we reacted to the wave that swallowed the world. Now that's a crazy title. We finna see what happens in this video, man. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you new. And yeah, man, we gonna keep dropping these reactions on these natural disasters, man, giving our opinion and our just honest, genuine reaction. So let's do it.
December 26, 2004, 7:58 in the morning, local time. Along the western coast of Thailand, European tourists are walking barefoot on white sand. Families are eating breakfast at beachfront hotels in Khao Lak.
Thailand.
Children are swimming in warm, flat water. The sky is blue. The forecast is clear. There is no storm, no warning, no reason to think anything is wrong. 600 miles to the southeast, beneath the Indian Ocean floor, a fault line has just ripped open across 800 miles of rock. The rupture lasts 10 minutes. The entire planet shakes, and a wall of water is now moving toward 14 countries at the speed of a commercial jet.
Damn.
The people on those beaches have roughly 2 hours to live. Nobody is going to tell them. To understand what happened that morning, you have to go back to just before 1 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time. Off the west coast of northern Sumatra, Indonesia, a section of the Sunda Mega Thrust Fault began to break. The earthquake measured magnitude 9.1. Some estimates put it as high as 9.3. Either way, it was the third most powerful earthquake recorded in modern history. The rupture stretched across roughly 1,300 kilometers of ocean floor. That is longer than the distance from New York to Miami.
Damn.
And it released energy equivalent to roughly 23,000 atomic bombs detonating at once.
That is crazy, bro. That's crazy. That earthquake was powerful as hell, boy. I ain't gonna lie, that earthquake was a motherfucker. And I'm trying to understand and wrap my head. So basically, tsunamis and earthquakes, are they like, do they go together or something? Like, do a tsunami happen because of an earthquake or something? Like, that's what I'm getting at in this video. I don't know.
The shaking was
let me
strong
know in
enough
the
to make the
comments,
entire Earth vibrate by up to 10 millimeters. Seismographs in Alaska registered the disturbance. But the earthquake itself was not what killed people. It was what the earthquake put into motion. The displaced ocean floor pushed a massive volume of water outward in every direction. In the deep ocean, those waves moved at 800 kilometers per hour. At that speed, a wave leaving the epicenter would reach Thailand in under 2 hours, Sri Lanka in about the same time, India in 2 hours, and the coast of Somalia in 7 hours. None of those countries had a tsunami warning system. Not a single buoy. Not a single siren.
Damn. So they ain't even know what was coming to them. That's crazy, boy. No, that's crazy. Like, imagine you just waking up, going about your normal routine in your day, and out of nowhere, natural disaster hit, tsunami hit. And it's crazy because a tsunami just hitting you unexpectedly, it's like, damn, like, that's a bunch of water just out of nowhere. You just see the city flooded and, you know, so on and so forth. Like, that's crazy, man. They ain't have no warning system. Like, why did they not have a warning system? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, especially if y'all know tsunamis are possible. Like, come on, man.
Not a single phone number connecting the scientists who detected the earthquake to the governments about to lose tens of thousands of citizens. Within 15 minutes of the quake, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii picked up the signal. 2 seismologists were on duty, Barry Hirschhorn and Stuart Weinstein. They looked at the data and knew immediately that something catastrophic had happened near Sumatra. But the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center exists to protect the Pacific Ocean. That is its mandate. Its contact lists, its alert protocols, its entire infrastructure are built for the Pacific. The Indian Ocean was not their jurisdiction. They issued a bulletin within 15 minutes, and it said there was no tsunami threat to the Pacific. That statement was accurate. The Pacific was fine. The Indian Ocean was about to be destroyed. For a brief window, the situation looked manageable. The bulletin from Hawaii suggested the earthquake was large but contained. Officials in the region had not issued any alerts. In Thailand, tourists continued their morning routines. In Sri Lanka, fishing boats launched into calm water. In southern India, families prepared for the day. No one felt the earthquake in those countries. The tremor had been centered too far away. The ocean looked normal. The weather was beautiful. If you were standing on a beach in Phuket at 8:30 that morning, there was no visible sign that anything had changed. The danger was invisible, traveling beneath hundreds of miles of open water, moving faster than any boat, any car, any plane most people would ever fly in. Back in Hawaii, Hirshhorn and Weinstein revised their initial estimate upward. The earthquake was bigger than first reported. They suspected a tsunami had been generated, but they could not confirm it. They had no ocean sensors in the Indian Ocean and no tide gauges feeding them real-time data. Weinstein described the situation in one sentence: "We were flying blind." They began making phone calls, trying to reach someone in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Sri Lanka. They did not have the numbers. There was no directory for this, no protocol, no emergency line. These two scientists, sitting in a building in Hawaii, knew that a wave was likely crossing the Indian Ocean, and they could not reach a single government in its path.
Damn.
Around 7 hours after the earthquake, the United States State Department finally called the center. Hirshhorn asked them to contact American embassies in the affected countries. By then, the waves had already hit.
It's too
The
late.
first place to feel the full force was Banda ACH, the closest major city to the epicenter. The wave arrived within 15 to 20 minutes of the earthquake. At that distance, even a warning system could not have saved everyone. The run-up heights reached 30 meters in some areas, a wall of water taller than a 10-story building. In the hills between the towns of
10-story?
Lohkunga and Loipung, survey teams later measured a maximum run-up of 51 meters. That is higher than the Statue of Liberty's pedestal. Banda Aceh, a city of 300,000 people, was hit so fast and so hard that the damage was almost total. Over 167,000 people died or went missing across the province. Most of them never had a chance. Stories like this are why I started Storm Forge. If you want more real disaster breakdowns grounded in facts and
That's
human stories,
crazy, bro. He said that place had 300,000 people and up to 167,000 people either died or got injured. So that means damn near more than half of the people that reside there, on estimate, let's say, more than half of the people that resided there are gone or are now permanently injured. That's crazy to think about, bro. Like, this is crazy, man. And I thought tornadoes was bad. No, tsunamis even worse. Like a wave of water just, man, that's crazy.
consider
That's
subscribing.
crazy, bro.
Now, back to what happened next. But the wave did not stop at Sumatra. 2 hours after the
They kept
earthquake,
going.
the ocean reached Thailand. In Khao Lak, a resort town popular with European tourists, the wave hit with run-up heights approaching 20 meters. Nearly 4,000 people died there.
Yeah.
An estimated 1,000 of them were foreign tourists. Many had been standing on the beach when the water first pulled back, exposing the seabed in a way no one had seen before. Some walked out onto the newly exposed sand. They were curious. They did not know what a receding ocean meant. In Phuket, the story was the same. Beaches full of people, no sirens, no announcements, no one running. Except on one beach. On Mai Khao Beach, a 10-year-old British girl named Tilly Smith was walking with her family when she noticed the water behaving strangely. It was pulling back from the shore, fast. The surface was frothing. 2 weeks earlier, in her geography class at Daneshill School in England, her teacher Andrew Kearney had shown a video about tsunamis. Tilly recognized the signs immediately. She told her parents a tsunami was coming. Her father Colin hesitated, but Tilly was screaming. The family alerted other tourists. The beach was evacuated to the second floor of a nearby hotel. The wave hit.
Saved a bunch of people's lives. For real.
Seconds later. Mai Khao Beach was one of the only beaches in Phuket that day with no fatalities. A 10-year-old girl had the knowledge that entire governments did not. Across the ocean, on Simulue Island, something similar was happening. Simulue sits just 150 kilometers from the earthquake's epicenter, closer than Banda Aceh. It should have been devastated. Instead, only 7 of the island's 71,000 residents died. The reason is a word, smong. It comes from the Devayan language of Simulu and describes the full sequence of an earthquake followed by a receding sea, followed by a massive wave. The concept was codified after a tsunami struck the island in 1907, and it was composed into oral tradition by a man named Muhammad Riswan. For nearly a century, every generation learned the same lesson. When the ground shakes and the sea pulls back, you run to high ground. No hesitation, no waiting. On December 26th, that is exactly what they did. Cultural memory saved an entire island. No government agency was needed. Knowing what we know now, I want to hear from you. Could this have been prevented? Should someone have acted sooner? Let me know in the comments.
For sure. Man, they definitely could have prevented this because, I mean, to what I'm hearing, they didn't even have anybody to reach out to. But it's like, damn, bro, like, if this shit would have went on any longer, who's to say it would have been, bro, it would have been bad. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it would have been bad. But, hey, I feel like this stuff could have been prevented if the people that did the research, if they already was like in contact or already had the plans to already had a plan in play in just in case of this emergency. But like it said though, they didn't track the Indian Pacific Ocean or the Indian Ocean, which is kind of fucked up now that I think about it. Like, damn, y'all don't care about them. Like, damn. But hey.
Here is what makes this disaster unbearable to examine. The earthquake was detected. The science existed. The warning was technically possible. It just was not built. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center had been operational since 1949. It covered the Pacific, but no equivalent system existed for the Indian Ocean. And it was not because nobody had thought of it. In October 2003, 14 months before the disaster, an Australian seismologist named Phil Cummins stood before the International Coordination Group for the Tsunami Warning System in the Pacific. He showed historical evidence that massive earthquakes along the Sunda Fault had generated ocean-spanning waves before. He told them it was going to happen again. He urged them to extend warning capabilities to the Indian Ocean. The group's response was to form a working group to study the issue. No action was taken. In August 2004, 4 months before the wave, Cummins presented the same warnings again in Japan and Hawaii. Again, nothing happened. He was right about everything: the location, the mechanism, the risk. He was off by only one detail. He predicted the epicenter would be in central Sumatra. It was in the north. And then there was Indonesia's own failure. The country had one specialized tsunami detection seismograph installed on the island of Java in 1996. In 2000, during a routine office move, the phone line connecting it to the government in Jakarta was disconnected. It was never reconnected. For 4 years, that instrument sat there, fully functional, measuring seismic activity, transmitting its data to no one. On the morning of December 26th, Indonesia's other seismographs detected the earthquake and alerted officials. But without the specialized data from Java, they could not confirm whether a tsunami had been generated. A disconnected phone line. That is the margin between detection and silence. The final death toll reached approximately 228,000 people across 14 countries. Indonesia lost over 167,000. Sri Lanka lost 35,000. India lost more than 16,000. Thailand lost over 8,000. Waves reached as far as Somalia, 7 hours and 5,000 kilometers from the epicenter. 289 people died there. Even
Damn.
with
7 hours from where it started. Imagine, bro. Imagine. That motherfucker just kept going through towns and countries. That's crazy, bro.
7 hours of lead time, nobody was warned. In Banda Aceh, entire neighborhoods were erased. The damage was so complete that in some areas there were no landmarks left to navigate by. Survivors wandered through landscapes they could not recognize. The community where Martunes, a 7-year-old boy, had been playing football with his friends that morning was gone. He was separated from his family in the chaos. His mother did not survive. He became known internationally as the boy on the beach. In January 2005, the international community began building what should have existed all along. By June 2006, the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System became operational. There were 25 seismographic stations, 26 national tsunami information centers, and 6 deep ocean detection buoys. It took 18 months and 228,000 deaths to build something a seismologist had begged for 14 months before the wave.
Man,
Today, the system exists, but the question that remains is not whether it works. It is how many other oceans, other coastlines, other fault lines are sitting in the same position the Indian Ocean was. On December 25th, 2004, one day before the warning that never came. Tilly Smith is an adult now. The children of Simulu Island are teaching their own children the word smong. And somewhere, right now, there is probably a scientist standing in front of a committee, showing them evidence of a risk they have not prepared for. The question is whether anyone is listening. Thank you for watching this one. I know it is a heavy story. If you want to keep going, the next video on your screen...
No, W, man. W big, bro. That's crazy, bro. A lot of people lost their lives for one simple invention that should have already been there. Like, that's crazy, man. W vid though, man. If y'all enjoyed the vid, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, man. Until the next time. Go!